Okay, I'd like to ask you a few questions about your country.
Okay.
Could you tell me which country you are from?
I originate from Busan, which is the second largest city in South Korea.
And can you describe Busan for me?
Actually, Busan is now one of tourism attractions. So Busan is a harbor city. So there are several beautiful beaches. So especially during the summer season, not only locals but also foreigners visit my area to enjoy variety of aquatic leisure activities.
And what do you like about living in Busan?
Actually, fortunately, my area is located nearby the ocean, so whenever I have spare time, I can enjoy the beach walking. I love it.
And in Australia, do you work or are you a student?
Unfortunately, at the moment, I'm between jobs, but I used to work in the hospital as a nurse for approximately 5 years.
And what do you like to do in your spare time?
I'm a avid moviegoer, so whenever I have spare time, I usually go to the cinema to watch movies with my friends. It's really good for me because I can have great opportunity to improve my listened and spoken English.
And why are you studying English?
I think that around 5 years ago, when I tripped other countries, I thought that the real discrimination is not come from the skin colors, but come from the languages. So they wanted to get along with me, but I couldn't speak English at all, so I couldn't have a great chance to be their friends. So after that, it gave me great motivation to learn English.
And how long have you been studying English?
Around 5 years ago, it was the first time to study English. Before then, I couldn't speak English at all.
Okay. I would like you to describe the main forms of transport in your hometown. You should say what the forms of transport are, how often you use them, which types of transport are most popular, and consider whether or not the transportation systems are satisfactory. You've got a minute to prepare now. Okay, when you're ready, thanks.
In my country, actually South Korea, we have small territories. So we have several forms of public transportations like bus and subway and taxi, I think. But in my case, I prefer using the subway to using own cars. Actually, when I worked in the hospital, I used my own car. So whenever I commute the hospitals, but it was very uncomfortable and inconvenient for me because I have to spend a lot of money to refill the petrol that is very expensive in Korea because in Korea there is no natural resources, and during rush hours I always suffering from the traffic congestion. So I wasted a lot of time on the street. So after then, I tried to use public transportation subway. It was really great because it's a reasonable price and always keep on time when commuting school and hospital or workplaces, I think. Actually, during the rush hour, it was very crowded, so it made me uncomfortable because of other people's, but it was great. Sometimes I can have great time to read the newspaper or to read the books, or under the city I can have a chance to meet other people to talk, to communicate each other. So I can feel relaxed when I back to home or when I went to the company. So I like to use subway.
Good. Now, what is the longest journey that you have ever been on?
Actually, last year I traveled around the world with my boyfriend for 5 years. I just visited around 40 different cities and over 20 different countries. I had a really great time, although I was suffering from starvation every day.
Why is that?
Because my boyfriend is very stingy to save money. We ate one McDonald's burger per day, so I'm so sick of eating McDonald's burger anymore.
Okay. Now, I'd like to ask you a few more questions about transport and traffic. What is the traffic like in your hometown of Busan?
Very crowded. Busan is a very busy city, so especially during the rush hours, it's impossible to, it's very difficult for us to keep on time when we want to go to somewhere. And then the road system is not so good, so because of that, so the traffic system is so bad.
Okay. And what are the benefits of travelling by public transport?
First and foremost, of course, the main reason that people use the public transportation is that the price. That's a very reasonable price, especially in Korea. Actually, in Australia, that's so expensive compared with my country. And second of all, probably they just want to live from the stress by driving the car.
Good. In your opinion, in what ways can governments encourage people to use public transport?
I think that in my country, definitely the government have to encourage the public to use public transportation, especially buses or subways, because in Korea we don't have any natural resources. To save money and to save natural resources, they have to use it, and to reduce air pollution, they have to encourage people to use public transportation, I think.
Having too many cars on our roads causes air pollution. What are some of the other causes of pollution?
Actually, the main purpose is having a lot of cars exhausted. They emitted exhausted gases. And second of all, I think that because of the factories, they required the filtering systems or purifier systems to purify the waters when they dispose the water into the river or oceans. Because of that, it causes the water pollution.
Mm-hmm. How are environmentally friendly practices encouraged in your country?
In my country, there is a compulsory law that we have to do rubbish segregation, recycling, I mean. So we have to do that, and then if we use eco-friendly products, it's a reasonable price. There's just a discount the price of that.
And finally, science can be used to develop environmentally friendly alternatives. In what ways can this be done?
Nowadays, especially, for example, about the car. Actually, instead of the car using the petrol or diesels, we can buy the car of hydro electricity and the solar power car that is totally eco-friendly vehicle.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now, we'll just talk a little bit about your test.
Yeah.
I'll talk about the 4 different marks that you'll receive in the test. Now, the first mark is for cohesion and coherence, which focuses on your delivery. Now, you gave excellent answers. They were detailed, well organized, and the answers flowed well.
Thank you to say so.
That's okay. Also, you're a very confident speaker, which is fantastic. Now, in the exam, the examiner will see that you're thinking in English. You're not thinking in Chinese and then translating. Sorry, Korean and then translating. You're thinking in English. Also, excellent narrative skills. Part 2, you told a wonderful story. Again, well organized, very fluent. In fact, you don't hesitate at all, do you? You have answers for every question. and you're very quick at thinking of the answers, so that's great. Vocabulary, also first class. You use a great variety of adjectives. For example, you said, I'm an avid moviegoer. You said your boyfriend is stingy. So great adjectives, great nouns like discrimination, motivation, and very accurate use of vocabulary. So you'd score very well in that category. Similarly with grammar, very good, very strong, a good variety of structures, a high degree of accuracy. The only thing you really need to be careful with is in part 2, you were talking about being back in Korea.
Yeah.
So you should change it to past simple when you're talking about the past. So I had to spend a lot of money. I tried to use the subway. Okay. So just take care to vary the tense according to whether you're talking about the present in general or the past, a particular time. Now, as you know, pronunciation is your one problem area, and it's not so much your pronunciation, it's your speed, and also the fact that you have a very soft voice. So you don't have a big loud voice like me, you've got quite a soft voice, and because of this, because of the speed and the softness, some of your words are disappearing. So you've really got to work on that speed. You're like you're in a horse race a bit, so you've got to slow down a bit and just really pace yourself. Also take care with S on the end of words. For example, you said pollutions. Pollution is uncountable.
Yeah.
So, but that's not a big one. The most important thing, and you know you've got to do, is slow down and speak up a bit. But you don't have a big voice, you've got a lovely soft voice, so that might be a bit harder. But the speed you can definitely work on. So I gave you 7, but if you can slow down, you're going to get 7.5 or 8.
Thank you.
Because there is not much problem with your accent. Korean, not Chinese. Not much problem with your accent at all. Your words are quite clear. It's just you're very fast and they're starting to disappear. So we want you to get 8. We don't want you to get 7. Okay.
Very generous score.
Oh no! You're very strong speaker. So just slow down. Just pace yourself. I know it's hard, but that's the only thing preventing you from getting a high score.
I really appreciate for your wholesome advice for my speaking.
Now you're slower. Now you're slower. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.